Hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Journal, a space to create the life you want to live. In this podcast space, we explore stories of resilience, purpose, and impact. And today's conversation feels extra special because my guest is someone whose life is literally woven out of stories, I would say. From being a little girl teaching in her imaginary classroom, from her balcony to be precise, to becoming a storyteller who has touched audience across generation. And her journey is purely magical and deeply intentional. Before I went reveal the name, she has worn many hats. Like she's an actor, she's an author, she's a TEDx speaker, and she's a storyteller, most importantly an educator. And yet, everything she does feels like one seamless narrative. That's quite impressive. To add more, she has shared screen space with legends like Kamala Hassan, Mani Ratnam and Shankar, and she has written award-winning picture books that are now read by children in 9 different languages. I can keep on talk about her, like she has lent her voice for a global platform, she's part of the business school, continues to inspire both children and adults. But beyond all that, what truly stand out is this. Like I said before, her belief that a story from the heart will always find its way to other hearts. And honestly, that's what today is about. Stories, meaning, and the courage to stay true to your voice. Ms. Janaki, welcome to the Empower Journal. I already know this conversation is going to stay with us long after even it ends.
Thank you, Devaki. Nice to be on your platform and happy to be here.
Lovely. So let's dive into this mom's magic. You co-authored Party's Rasam with your daughter Dwani, right? So what was it like being a mother and co-author at the same table? Who won the creative arguments?
So obviously it has a story. I got this idea while I was coming back from a literature festival in Kohima, and I remember calling my daughter and saying, what if there is suddenly you lose a recipe and maybe it's something about rasam. I'm not sure, and I had this vague idea, but I didn't know how to put it together, and I don't know why, but I called her and she said, Mummy, if we ever plan to write, I am going to be with you on this journey. And then I said, okay, and life happens, there were so many things, and I did mention this to a friend of mine, Shobha Vishwanath, who runs Kara Details, and she said, oh, this is a beautiful plot, I think you should write it. So I said, Shobha, it's just an idea. She said, no, just sit down and write. And then of course my daughter was in Bangalore and I was here in Chennai, and we never got down to serious writing. But then COVID happened and we were all stuck in the same house. So we decided that we would do whatever we can to see if this thought can be a story, can be a book. And that's how, without killing each other, because of course we fought. In the sense, obviously two creative minds think a little differently.
Right.
No two creative minds can think alike, because the perspectives are different, the experience is different. So it is inspired by my mother and my daughter's party. And she, who used to be an amazing cook and used to make the best rasam. So it became easier because we were drawing from experiences from her childhood. Because my mother literally brought her up, along with the other paternal grandmother also. And it was all about, and my daughter works in the food space.
Okay.
So it was all about nostalgia, memories, and my mother had already moved on by then. So it was almost like bringing her story back with a little bit of course, fiction, and with a lot of elements that are very closely related to both Dwani, my daughter, and me. So I guess it was a very beautiful process. And of course, we had Shobha Vishwanath being the editor, and we wrote, and finally, it's only 300 words that is published in a picture book. So imagine we wrote for more than 1,000 words. So here we had an anchor in Shobha who said, no, just tell me. And then we used to get on a conference call and say, We used to get on a call with Shobha, and she used to say, why don't you, she used to keep nudging us and saying, why don't you think differently here, So you need that kind of perspective also, because Dhwani and I were sitting with the story, and it had multiple iterations before it came. I think we had at least 4-5 drafts before we came to the actual book as we see it now. So it was a beautiful process.
Loving it. So stories basically become your family glue, I would say.
Absolutely. I think my father was an amazing storyteller. He had this ability to make a very, very small incident to a 5.1 digital Dolby surround story with every little details that he would remember. So I realized that I thought all appas were like this, but not all appas were like this, When I realized that appa was an exception, because for him everything was larger than life. And my mother was an amazing listener. She would be always so supportive, and she would say, then what happened? Then, so I realized from childhood that you needed, if there was a storyteller, you also needed a listener, because otherwise then the storyteller's importance. So I guess I am the storyteller personally, professionally, everything. And I think I basically love sharing stories, and I like an audience all the time. I think that is something, who doesn't like instant gratification?
Absolutely. Very true. So before we go further, I want to ask you this one question. In fact, I should have started with this. That little girl from the balcony teaching those imaginary classes every day, did she have any idea she would one day become a TEDx speaker on stage?
That little girl who used to come back from her play school and get into the balcony. I also have a photo of that, thank God.
Okay.
I can thank God for my appa for having taken that photo. And it is so, she's a very chamat girl, if I may say so, very prim and proper, because I think she was mimicking her teacher in school. And she would say, hello, how are you? I don't know why, but every day in the balcony she would have a imaginary classroom, and whatever the teacher had taught her, she would share it with that imaginary classroom. And she had a little, scale with her, and she had a little notebook or a pad or something that my appa used to have. I think I used to borrow it, I used to keep it. And at that time, I knew for sure that I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
But then life happens. And after so many years of corporate life, doing this, that, and other things, I'm back to what my
calling.
Yeah, my calling. I think like somebody else said, oh my God, you have found your purpose in life. Yes, I have. It took some time, but then it's okay. As long as you realize it while you're still hale, healthy, hearty, I don't think there's any issue there. It's like enjoying the process.
Very true. So, as an actor, author, storyteller, and educator, if you absolutely had to pick just one, so I'm thinking it will be storytelling, but I would like to, which one would break your heart to give up? I'm not going to ask you which one is important. I'm going to ask you which one you will.
No, let me say that I don't think I've ever stopped sharing stories, even whether it was my professional life. Even when I was in a corporate, I think the storytelling process was so amazing. No, I could turn around, and now when I connect the dots, it was those stories that kept me and my team together all the time. I was handling a big team.
Okay.
And we were into sales, and we were into marketing. I had lots of clients. So everything was a story. So somebody remarked the other day, ma'am, for you, for us it is an incident. For you, it seems to be a story all the time. But incidents are stories, no? It's the way you look at it. It's the lens that you wear at that particular time. My brain is wired, and so is yours. You wouldn't be asking me these questions if you were not curious and wanting to know more about me. Why do you even want to have a podcast with me? It's because you want to know my story. So we human beings are hardwired for stories. But to take that storytelling itself as something that started as a passion and turn it into a profession. I think that is something that happened organically, if I may say so. And when I decided to quit my professional career in the corporate, this became a very seamlessly, it got integrated as my profession. People started seeing value. I started performing outside, and I had already started, in fact, while I was still in my corporate career, I was still performing, but over the weekends and just with few children. But the moment I left, I quit my job, I think I had more time, so I collaborated with publishers. There were a lot of spaces that wanted my storytelling. See, word of mouth, I think, if, like my uncle used to say, talent can never be hidden. So if people find value in your talent and they said, okay, let me go and listen to her, that itself is your marketing. That itself becomes your brand.
Right. I know so many of people listening right now are thinking about the stories they've never shared. So, great. Okay, let's get practical for a while, because that's what this show is all about. You are running Golpo Tales. I don't know whether I'm saying it right. Golpo Tales?
Golpo meaning story in Bengali.
All right.
I grew up in Kolkata, so that's why the name. So it's called Golpo Tales.
Lovely. So you're a chief ideator at Little Trails, but I want to know about home, Miss Janaki. Traffic, eating our day, dinner is burning, the kids are already reaching for the iPad or the mobile phones. 3 ways working moms can spark imagination in that exact moment. Because like you rightly pointed, the career transformation or the decision you took, it takes a lot of courage and support mechanism, I believe. If you could suggest the same to our women today, what it would be?
Okay, so it was very different when I was raising my daughter because we had no social media. But now I can say my granddaughter is growing up in that realm, right? In social media, she has everything. So I do understand the pain points for parents, young parents now. And I realize that we need to build this together. So when stories can become glue, they can become that easiest, when you are feeding the child, there is story. There could be music being played in the background, but that music might also have a story where you say that this song was something that I grew up listening to, the mother says. So there is a story there. And then you make storytelling itself a very shared experience. When I say shared experience, the grandparents, the uncles, the aunts, the house helps, they all start sharing story. When everybody starts sharing stories, the child, will go less towards the tablets and digital gadgets and more towards the spoken word. And like I used to do when my daughter was growing up, I used to just keep the entire floor when she was crawling and when she was just about learning how to walk, it would be covered with books, board books and things like that. So she would just on the instinct pick up a book and constantly turn. She would not know what their colors are, or she would not know how to read. And then, of course, she was introduced to Karadi Tales in the form of audio cassettes at that time. So we used to play a lot of audio cassettes. She used to sit with a book. She can't read it, but she would wait for that sound when chak chak chak, meaning that bit where you have to turn the page. So see how the child is now learning to listen carefully. And slowly when the child learns ABCD and when the child learns how words are stitched together, the child understands more. So it is mainly, I think it's called monkey see, monkey do. The parents sit with books, the child will also sit with books. The parents sit with only digital gadget, the child has no other option, but the child will see, oh, this is the norm. I am also supposed to have a digital gadget. And when we talk about, I am not saying screen time is completely bad or something. See, we are living in a very, very digital age, and I have to be practical, but make that screen time shared screen time. Imagine the child, the parents, the grandparents, they're all watching. Maybe it's a cricket match or something on the a child appropriate show on TV or on the laptop. The child understands that this is a shared experience. This is something that we all watch together. So throwing books all around, making sure children listen to podcasts, and even when you are packing for your vacation, the books should be the first thing that goes inside the suitcase. So the child knows that, okay, I'm going to have, because what we don't allow children to do nowadays is let them get bored.
Very true.
Please let them get bored. Because boredom is the foundation for creativity. Because if they don't dream, I've seen my granddaughter just zone in or zone out, and she's staring into space, and I'm so happy. We are not hurrying and saying, hey, look at me here or look at this, because I don't know what is there in that kutti little head of hers, no? What is she dreaming? What is she thinking about? I don't have to know everything that is happening in her head, but it's like, we are rushing to fill in all their silences. We don't have to. If they are silent, you can also take some moments of silence and just be there. Because that's where imagination begins. That's where they start imagining so many beautiful things, and suddenly they'll shock us, and they'll do some, maybe they'll do a step, or they'll say a new word, and you're wondering, where did this come from? It's all their imagination. And what they're picking up, of course, from all the adults. It's like, I think we are very happy to instruct children. Don't do this, saying no, why are you doing this? If we give them a story, if you do this, you know what? I think you're going to have a problem because you might just fall down. When we start teaching them, when we start talking to them like this, it's very beautiful because their kutti little brain actually understands. They might not say, aha, okay, thank you. They are not in a boardroom. They are in their home. They are still trying to discover. They are still trying to figure out what life is all about. And when they get bored, their imagination just goes so beautiful. And of course, books and storytelling. I mean, there are so many ways that children can listen. They don't always have to see the screen.
That's really beautiful, and I love that. I hope we can start, especially packing the books for your vacation.
Yes. I used to do that all the time when Dhwani was a kid. She had a set of 4 books. And when we used to make this big thing that we are going to Kodaikanal or somewhere for vacation, she would come with that and she says, oh, my tatty Ted has to go first.
Okay.
So it was so nice, no? And we never said, no, we'll get you books there, no? It is her, no? When you are taking your stuff and your book or whatever it is, why can't the child also will want to do the same, na?
Right. Actually, here is something I have to tell you. I've actually watched a child comfort a friend after one of your puppet session. Like, genuinely feel the other person. So tell me, the Chennai kids, who surprised you with that I get it now moment? Like, any real examples have you?
Okay, so my first book is called The Jungle Storytelling Festival. Okay, and this is about an ostrich who stammers and is unable to share his story.
Okay,
and this was happening in a mall in Chennai. We had a book fest and I had finished sharing the story, and I don't normally use puppets, but in this particular story I have been gifted this puppet. So I bring out ostrich and he comes out, he's called Ostru or a Neppu. Neppu is Nerippu Kori, shortened for Nerippu Kori means ostrich in Tamil. So I said, here is ostrich, and there's this squeals of delight and gasps and of surprise, when the puppet comes in the end. Would you like to meet Ostru? And he comes out and all that. It's a simple hand puppet. So we have a song, and of course it's a happy ending about how ostrich finally gets to share his story. So Ostru is happy, so are the children. We sing the happy song, and after that we invited the children to come on to the stage and speak on the mic as to what do they want to be. It was a children's fest, and I think this was the last program on that day. So one by one the child came, and one boy came and he said he wants to be Ostru. So I said, how lovely. I mean, as a storyteller at that moment, I said, wow, how nice. I mean, clap and all that. And it was a nice moment. And he came on he spoke on the mic. He says, I want to be an Ostru.
Okay.
Then after the program got done, and we had some books, and I signed those copies of the books, the mother comes to me and she says, thank you so much for sharing this story. You know why he said he wants to be Ostru? I said, no. She says, he has a stammer issue. He stammers. And I was so overwhelmed at that moment. I said, oh my God. See, when you write a storybook, you are writing because you want children to read it. But in this case, the child not only heard the story, but he also felt a deep connect between him and Ostru, and he realized that he could overcome stammering. Okay, and because in the book, of course, I'll give away the plot, where because Ostru sings a song because of a mama mouse and her two children. She says, you know this happy song, you sing along. And when he sings, Mama Mouse says, you're not stammering when you're singing. So he realizes, and then he sings his story in the Jungle Storytelling Festival, where the other animals had not given him an opportunity. So this was such a beautiful moment, And for me, it was, I felt, I slept that night with a big smile on my face, because this will be always very, very dear to me, because the child felt the story. So this is about storytelling. It is when you, as a storyteller, I have to see the story happening in front of my eyes. When I see Ostru, whenever I performed Ostru some 100, so many times. I mean, I published this in 2018, and since then I've been performing it. It's gone on reprint so many times. But every time I perform it, it's like, for me, Ostru is there in front of me. Because if I don't see the story, if I don't feel the story, how will you feel it as an audience? How will a child feel it? So, I mean, I think that was for me a very, 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 very memorable moment.
Looks like that experience really shaped you.
Yes.
So you have done sessions at Archie Global, Ekadaksha Learning Centers, Kids Light Up, Language Flows, Critical Thinking Sparks. One Chennai kid moment that still makes you smile.
I think I've said this in my TED talk also, but I don't mind repeating. It's about this little boy who, it was in a space in Chennai, and I was just about to, I do a lot of warm up, so that zone the children in and then start the storytelling. And I said, okay, I'm going to be sharing 3 stories. And as I started to speak, this little boy, must be about 3 years old, he came and he put his hand on my mouth and he said, Podum, meaning stop it, enough. And the father was embarrassed, the organizers were embarrassed, and I didn't know, I had never seen this kind of a moment before. And I said, oh dear, what happened? Obviously, the child was not interested in listening to stories at that time. Maybe he wanted to do something else. But I didn't know how to, because I needed to share stories for all the other people. And they were already laughing. And I said, okay, how do they bring them all back into the story? But then I saw a Lego set nearby, and I asked him whether he would like to play with Lego, and I think he was happy. So he and his father, they settled him out. And then I started telling my stories, and this boy continued to play with Lego, and I would now and then just, glance towards him, and he was very, very happy doing whatever he was doing. And at the end of the 3rd story, we all said, okay, nice, everybody clapped, and we took some photos. And suddenly this little boy comes to me, hugs me and says thank you, meaning he was listening to it all the time
while he was playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our years, children, it taught me so much that children don't have to look into your eyes and listen. And this goes in every household. They are listening all the time. They are like sponge. they're absorbing. And which is why we said, where did this child get this word from? Obviously, it was somebody who spoke in the house that day.
Very true.
Or maybe in the school or whatever, the child is listening. The child may not know the meaning of that word, but the child says, okay, this person said, maybe it sounds nice. And he just shares, or he or she just share. So when we say, it is all about stories that engulf us at that moment. So this is one little moment that will always stay with me, because it taught me that they don't have to be under your nose. They don't have to even look at you to listen to a story.
Interesting. So let's talk a little more about the future. I would say future gazing, like 2030. Let's talk about. Now there is AI tutors everywhere, Instagram, reels teaching kids. Human storytellers like you, how are you evolving? Will Golpo Tales fight back with heart?
Golpo Tales doesn't have to fight at all. Golpo Tales will always coexist. Because if we have gone beyond COVID, if I started my storytelling because I wanted children to get away from the gadgets, but then COVID hit and everybody was back into the gadgets, but they were looking at me, they were listening to my stories on tablets or on phones or on laptops. And that's how my children came to know of a storyteller called Janaki Sabesh. Parents came to know. And then once COVID, everybody said, oh, now they are fully tuned. Nothing. They were very happy to come back to my storytelling session. I'm having one in the weekend. Twice a month I have physical sessions, and they're always new children, old children who have grown up now. I keep having these new children, and I encourage the participation of parents, because I feel parents also need that 1 hour non-digital time when they can actually listen, become a child. I make the parents participate. I make the parents sing the songs that I sing along with me, because they, somewhere along the line, we have forgotten that there is a child inside us waiting to do a lot of things. And we are wearing masks of, no, I have to be prim and proper. Yes, you can do all that you want as an adult, but don't let that child inside you go away. So the Golpo Tales is going to coexist. Storytelling will never go out of fashion.
Lovely. And yeah, that's why mom needs you now. Because lovely perspective. Okay. Ms. Janaki, as a woman who has built something entirely on your own creative terms, I would say, and I want to be very specific because I'm personally so proud to look at your journey. What did you have to unlearn to get here?
I think unlearning, let me say I'm still learning on the job. This is work in progress. Why I say that is, while I did start as a storyteller for children, because I had a very stress, being in the media and entertainment space is a lot of stress, and you have clients calling you all the time. You really don't have a 9-to-5 job. You have to be available all the time. For me, the storytelling was something that would give me so much of freedom, so much of happiness, and I would love seeing these children's faces and all. But then what started as storytelling for children slowly grew, and I started performing in schools and colleges, and then I started becoming, somebody offered me a professional speaker role. Then I started giving keynote addresses, and then I started teaching in Chennai Business School, and now at Great Lakes. And I've just completed a theatre and assignment course along with a colleague of mine. And everything has only taught me, because it's very easy to say no. And my dad told me right at the beginning of, when I was very, very small, I still remember it so vividly, never say no to an opportunity, because you'll always learn. And he was speaking in the context of participating in competitions. He said, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, but every experience will teach you something that you can keep forever, So I think that is what I have held. So the unlearning bit maybe was about my own thoughts. Will I be able to do it? Will I be able to hold the attention of children beyond 50 minutes? Will I be able to do justice to the stories that I am sharing? Will I be able to do justice to all the publishers who trust me with their books? And with every telling, with every event, when I know that when I see the smiles, when I get all those hugs, and when I get saying that something moved inside them, something shifted, that is when I realize that I have overcome those. So maybe unlearning was always about the demons that are in your mind, So I didn't have to unlearn because I was never in this space, but I was learning all the time. I did go through a few professional courses because I didn't want to jump into something and say this is how I'm going to do it, because I needed to know how others do it, And there were some professional courses that I underwent. And what has happened is all my experience in the corporate, in teaching, everything becomes a sum total when I present myself on stage. Because all those experiences come somewhere. I can't say that this particular line I said like this because of the experience. I can't point it like that. But I feel all of these things have only made me, all of these experiences have only made me the person I am today. And which is why I'm still learning, continuing to learn.
Interesting. Before we wrap up this longer session, I want to come to another fascinating part of your journey. You work in cinema. So when you look at your journey from that little girl teaching imaginary classes to sharing screen space with legends, how has cinema shaped you, not just as an artist, but as a storyteller?
Cinema also teaches you a lot of patience when you're an actor, because you have to wait. You have to wait for your... and cinema is all about collaboration, because it's not just you. You have to take the light from the, you have to stand under the light. You have to make sure that you are in the, the camera person, the DOP will tell you, this is not where you stand, this is where you stand. He'll give you some marks, which you have to make sure. You have to be so aware of your surroundings. You have to be so aware of what you're speaking. You have to be so aware of what your colleague, your co-actor is speaking. So I think cinema has taught me patience. Cinema has taught me the art of collaboration. Cinema has taught me the art of keeping my curious self always alive. I'm so curious in a film set. Even though I've done my master's in mass communication, I know how these things work, but always there will be something I say, oh my God, this can be done like this also. It's a very nice and happy moment, that bulb moment, and say, oh dear. And then cinema has also taught me that of course I'll be nervous, my heartbeat will be very, very high, all that before the shot, because obviously, I'll always be that person that I don't want a retake because of me. But then I have learned something that my daughter keeps telling my granddaughter. It's okay. It's okay. I have started doing that. Instead of all is well, I say it's okay. If you don't get it the right time, you'll get it the second time or the third time. And then you also learn the art of feeling good, not just looking good at that. Because you feel nice. Nobody is going to come there and say, oh, shot well done. Or maybe they'll say, oh, they'll be happy and they'll say, okay, shot done, or shot okay. You need to feel okay. And that is what it has taught me for storytelling. I need to feel okay with the story that I told. I need to say that I gave my 100%. Things will go wrong. Mike will stop working in storytelling. But what do? I'll continue and I'll make some fun. And cinema has taught me a lot of humor, because thankfully all my roles are so laced with humor. It was in that genre. I do a lot of humor in my storytelling. In fact, I keep pulling the legs of the parents who come, and I'll tell them, hey, I saw you doing that, don't do that, let's get into the story, or suddenly throw a question at them. So I think I have only gained not just popularity and fame, but I've gained so much of wisdom from cinema, because it has really taught me to stay grounded, to say that you are just one little speck in that 3-hour movie or 2.5-hour movie. You have 5 scenes, but you can make a mark in that 5 scenes, even though your director has told you. But you being you, just be natural, listen to what the director has to say, do yourself. And that was my wow moment, saying that, aha, I just have to be natural, and I need to give it 150-200%. Then at the editing table, the director, if everything is okay, will decide to keep it. Otherwise, you might not even be there in the final film.
It really shows how deeply you think about your craft, and also amazing how every part of your journey seems to come back to stories and human connections.
Yes.
Amazing. I mean, I wish this session keeps going, but we're almost at the end of the episode. So, Ms. Janaki, we had the heart, wisdom, and the real talk, and now I'm putting you on the spot with some rapid fire. First thing that comes to your mind, no thinking, no editing. Ready? All right. Book or stage?
Stage. Okay.
One story you wish you had written?
Nothing like that. I mean, I think there are so many more stories that are yet to be written by me. It's all in my draft folder.
All right. Mani Ratnam or Shankar, who said taught you more?
Shankar sir, because I've done a couple of films, more films with him, and a longer duration of screen presence. But having said that, I did learn a lot from Mani sir, even though it was a very, very short screen presence in either, but I did learn from him.
Okay, the last thing that made you cry?
It was in a recent Women's Day celebration. I was in Karur, and I was after my speech, and we were inviting people to ask questions. This girl stood up and she said that I had visited her school about 7 years ago, and she had written a poem in Tamil, and I had asked her, why don't you translate this into English? And she did, with the help of a English teacher, and she showed it to me, and I believe that really changed the way she looked at writing poetry in English. And today she was employed in that bank, and it really teared me up, because it was an incident long back, and she stood up, and it was, the entire hall was clapping for her. And it was, when you do have empathy, or maybe you have touched somebody's life and you don't know, and when you are made aware suddenly in public, you realize that maybe you're doing the right thing.
Okay. A story from myth you keep going back to, from mythology?
Sita. I have performed her so many times. I continue to be in awe of the resilience, the grit, the woman she was, the woman she could have been, and the woman we know very little about.
A couple of last questions. So, Parties Rasam or Jungle Storytelling Festival? Your secret favorite?
Ayo, I can't do that, because Jungle was my first book, 2018. So it's very, very special. And Parties Rasam, of course, because of the collaboration between me and my daughter, and the fact that it has touched on a very, very sensitive topic and is still talked about and appreciated by children and adults.
Okay. One word that describes your storytelling style?
Full of heart.
Absolutely. Something most people don't know about you?
I think I am an open book, but I do get angry. Maybe that is something that people don't know because they find this calm facade. But yeah, when I'm pushed to the corner, I do get angry, but I'm still. I think I tell some stories to myself and I calm myself down. Chill.
Okay. And finally, filter coffee or tea before a performance?
Filter coffee,
Okay.
hands down, filter coffee without sugar. Yeah, that would be something that I can never exchange for.
And that's right, there is the story of Janaki. Thank you for bringing all you to this conversation. The warmth, the honesty, the absolute magic. That is something I've not felt in the recent times. Personally, you carry. I walked in already a fan, and I'm walking out even more inspired, actually.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Devaki, for having me on your Empower Journal podcast. And I hope all the women or all the men also who are listening their lives are filled with stories, because stories are so beautiful. They have magic. All we need to do is pause and listen to them.
Lovely. So, Chennai moms, try one hack this weekend. Tag us at Empower Journal, and next week, please. I mean, if people want to reach out to you to visit any of your storytelling session, where do they?
Instagram. I go under the brand name Ma Janaki, and I always post my all my events there. So that's the easiest way. MaaJanaki, Ma Janaki.
Lovely. So, listeners, please find Janaki at MAA Janaki. Follow her on Instagram. If you have children, please take them to one of her sessions. Links to everything will be posted. Her books, her website, her social handles are all in the show notes. So this was Empower Journal. I am Devaki today. Please do share it with any mom who would like to listen to it and make an impact in her personal life. And because this is a really, really good one. See you next week. And do not miss out to follow us on the Empower Journal, Amazon Prime, Spotify and Apple Podcast. Thank you so much. See you next week, and Nandri.